Right, these are seated hamstring curls, okay? What these are gonna work is your hamstrings, obviously, which is the muscle that runs along the back of your leg from the pelvis down into the knee, okay? How you do these is, first things first, you're gonna set up the seat similar to a quad extension. You're gonna set it up in a way where your legs aren't too far off the seat or too far back. So I'm gonna adjust the seat pad behind me so that there, for example, is a little bit too far forward. You can see that my knee is sort of off the seat here. There's a big gap under the knee, okay? If I were to adjust it a little bit too far back, I'm sort of too far back here now where you can see now that my knee doesn't actually even reach over it. So where I adjust the seat depends on the length of my leg. So if I'm gonna sit myself here nice and comfortable, where there's not a gap underneath my thigh, like it sits comfortably at the edge of the seat, and my knee lines up with this part of the machine where this is actually rotating around, and then I adjust the seat off of that. So I'm gonna put the seat roughly there, and that's gonna be the right spot for me now to kind of sit comfortably doing it, okay? You're gonna put your feet over the top of the pads like this here. Now the machines that people will generally be using in commercial gyms will have these built into it, so you don't need to worry about putting this in. But what you do want to consider and you do want to worry about is make sure this is very tight to the leg. You want to push this down to nearly a point of being uncomfortable to where it's nearly compressing your legs. The tighter this is to your legs, the better. Because the purpose of this and these handles is to keep everything from the knees up stable, locked in place. You want the knees up to be very, very tight and very, very stable, okay? Only below the knee really moves. This is a movement that only involves the lower half of the leg. So the upper part of my body from the knees up, I don't want any movement in. That is what this is for, to ensure there's no movement. So if it's loose, it's defeating the purpose. It's meant to keep me tight, so it needs to be tight, okay? Handles are the same thing. Holding onto those and pulling down on the handles a wee bit pulls me in nice and tight to the seat. You'll feel like you're in a theme park ride, but that's fine. Pulling down like that. Now I'm good and locked in. I'm ready to go for the exercise, okay? What I want here is, I don't want to worry too much about where my feet are. Don't point them out too much or in too much. Generally speaking, straighter is better, okay, for all intents and purposes for now. Hands nice and tight, and all I'm gonna do is I'm going to bring my heels back towards the back of my legs or my bum. That's all it really is, okay? I'm gonna hold in this bottom position and squeeze a little bit, and then I'm gonna release nice and slow until the legs are almost straight and I feel a little bit of a stretch in the back of the leg, and then I drive it back in again, okay? I don't wanna be doing it like this. See this here, far too quick, too light of a weight. That's not gonna get you anything, okay? You need to make sure you're doing a weight where you're gonna bring it in, you're gonna hold and squeeze, and that's gonna feel difficult and challenging, and then you're releasing it nice and slow, and it's actually quite painful on that releasing portion. And whenever I get to here, I'm not relaxing, I'm going straight back in. So a few reps of the exercise would look something like this. Nice and slow, a little bit of a stretch, driving in, squeezing and holding, really engaging the hamstrings, releasing nice and slow, squeezing in again, okay? So those are seated hamstring curls.